For loop we have finished, do while we have finished, and while we have finished. No more? Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Is the screen is visible now? So we have finished our statements called conditional statements. In that we have seen something called if statement, if else, then we have seen switch case, then we have finally we have seen the looping statements. In that we have seen the main major parts that is about the while statement, do while statement, for loop statements. So with this we have covered our second unit also. Now today we'll be seeing about the important about the concept about something called functions, arrays and strings. So this is your third unit. Now let's see about the how we going to start the functions, what do you mean by functions, arrays and the strings. So before going to know about the function, what we know about the previous programs, like we have written the programs on the for loop, about the do while and something called while statement, then if statements, which cases, and about the arithmetic operator, logical operators, bitwise operator. We have written a lot of programs. We have written the programs one by one sequence, one after the other. We have written a lot of programs in that particular fashion. Now, the new scenario where we have seen, like we have written a lot of programs from top to bottom. Then, if it is hundreds of lines, also we are writing, thousands of lines, also we are writing. Again, if I want to utilize the same program and again, repeatedly, what we are doing, we have shifted from that particular line program to looping statement. Based on the conditional, we are executing the programs. But if the same kind of program I want to execute not in the loop, but whenever I called, I should use that one. And if any problem is there, I should able to rectify. It's like an example, like you have a bike. As a boys, will be very much pleased about the bikes and the vehicles. We'll be riding the vehicles. So what we'll going to see, we'll be knowing about the how it is going to functional, that brakes, clutch, gears, and all the things. We'll be concentrating on that. For a small like if it is want a petrol, we'll be having a petrol tank where the petrol tank is available. We're going to add open with the key and we're going to fill the petrol with that particular tank. If it is a tire has been got puncture, we'll be going to repair that particular puncture. For that particular sake, are you going to open the engine? No. Okay, are you going to open any other parts of the which is not nowhere related to the tire? It's not like that. Means whichever the function, whichever the part you want to open it, if you want, if any problem is there, that particular part only we are going to touch. So like that, I want the facility in my program. In my program, what I'm doing, I'm openly writing every line by line, one after the other. So what is happening over there? Sequence of lines I have been writing. If I want to change, I have to search where that particular line is existing. Okay, if it is an everything is open, what is the problem I'm facing? The problem I'm facing that where I have to modify. Like I want to modify something. Like I have given an example, I want to, there is a tire puncture is there. I want to know how to open that particular tire. If it is connected to some engine or any other petrol, then I cannot repair the tire. So tire is a separate part, engine is a separate part, clutches or brakes are a separate part, but all are being interconnected to each other. Do you agree that one? So whenever I want to change some of the parts, I should not disturb the other parts. Now this is the same fashion the functions will going to work in our C language. So what we are doing, we are instead of writing the hundreds of lines, that hundreds of lines has been splitted into blocks, splitted into a parts. That means if I want to modify or if any problem is there in the, I'll go to that particular part and try to modify that one so that the other program will not going to get disturbed. Otherwise, if I have not used this particular concept, what happens? I will be going to open every line, thousands of lines. I have to read each and every line. I have to check that one. So where my time is consumed, and it is very critical job for me because it is not two lines. It's okay for me. But if it is a thousands of lines, I cannot do that. Okay. So this is how I'll be going to work with that. So function will going to help in this particular fashion. So You understand why we are going for the functions? We will be learning about this, the entire thing one by one. So just you want to understand the concept of the function is instead of writing a program thousands of lines, we are making that particular parts lines into pieces. And whenever I need, I'll call that function depending upon the number of times you require. So splitting of your program into parts is nothing but functions. Then, what is another one? Arrays. The second topic is arrays. Just I'm briefly describing about the third unit. So the second topic is about the arrays. Now, arrays is what? It's a collection of similar objects. Like I want to store numbers, or I want to store the names, or I want to store some images, or I want to store some videos. I want to store some audios. So like that, I want to I want to go with a similar type of data type. So in similar type of data type, if you want to know, if I want to go for a similar type of data type, then I'll go for the array concept. So array is the concept which is going to tell about store the similar kind of types. So as I told you that I want some images, I want some audio, I want some video files. Like that, I want to go with that particular same options. So this is what we call as an array. So collection of arrays. Then coming to the string. So if you know the importance of this particular unit, then we'll go for the importance of how we are going to use this program and how we're going to write the C program. Then the another topic comes is something called about the string. So what the string will going to do? Previously we have seen the data type called character. Now what is this data type will going to store? It is going to store the letters. So single letter it will going to store. Now I want to store the combination of letters. So what we call the combination of the letters? We call the words. Combination of the words we call the sentence, and the combination of sentence we call character. Like this, I want to store a huge information. So if I want to store with this much of information, a single character data type will not going to use it. We are going to use the concept called string, which is going to initialize the heavy data I can read. I can read the file itself. I can read the Word document. I can read the PowerPoint document. I can read the PDF file. So I can read the content of some other data from different sources. So huge information I can read. So which is not possible with our small character data set. With the help of string, I'll be going to get the entire information in this particular fashion. So that's why the importance of third unit has been came into picture. So previously we are learning the small programs, bigger programs. Now the same program, what we are doing, we are splitting into form of functions. We are trying to store similar data. We are trying to make huge files. We are reading that particular files. We are writing the new files. Like that, we are going within a third unit. Okay. So this is how we are going to learn about the third unit. So any doubt in the brief introduction about this, the particular third unit beta? So we are learning about the functions, arrays, and the strings. This is how which is going to cover our third unit. And always this third unit will be having the functions and arrays. These two topics will be coming. So we'll have something called user-defined functions. We have built-in functions. We'll be learning about that. Then we'll be learning in the functions about the recursive functions. Okay, so we are going to use the same functions again and again instead of writing. How we going to avoid the loop statements, and we are going to use the recursion functions instead of using the loop function. So we are trying to reduce the lines of code also. So instead of writing thousands of lines, I will be minimize the lines to at least to 20 to 30%. So what are the other techniques that are being available in C language where I can reduce the not only the program, and also it is very flexible and reliability I can execute my program. So that is about your we'll going to learn about the call by functions, call by reference. We'll be learning about the recursive functions. So the functions we'll be knowing in that particular topic, the definition, how we going to declare the prototype. So we are going to declare the prototype. The prototype is nothing but the structure of the table we are going to declare. So we are going to declare the structure. Then we'll be seeing the ready-made functions which are available. Like one of the function always we are using in our C language is the first program we'll be seeing in void main or int main. So when the main method or a function already we'll write it, till now we have written whatever the programs we have written till now, near about 10 to 15 programs we have written. In that all 15 programs we have seen about the function called main. Okay, do you remember the main function? Now we will be saying that there is one function like that. That function is built-in function. It has been already defined by the C language. Now we want to create like that our own functions. So custom functions we call. Why we are calling the custom function? Because it's defined by us. Okay, the user has created the functions according to his facility. So we are dividing, splitting our longer program into small pieces, and we are calling that functions. So build user defined functions. So we are going to create the user defined functions. Then the same functions with parameters and parameterless. That means it will going to take the values. Some function we're going to create taking the values, that is accepting some values from your keyboard or from some other sources and execute it. Some functions will not going to take any parameters depending upon the scenario. It may take one parameter, it may take two parameters, it will take n number of parameters. So depending upon the functions, how you want to create. Like best example, I'll be saying calculator. So I can add two digits, I can add three digits, I can go for four digits. So four digits means four parameters. Three digits means three parameters. 10 digits means 10 parameters. Like that, the same function. What you are doing, add. So simply you are saying add button. So when you are clicking place button, so place button will take two values. It will take 10 values also. So 10 values also if you give, it will going to add. So same function. That means you are going to create such kind of functions with the help of parameter and parameterless. Then we are going to call the function again and again, but that is called as a recursive function. So these all related to functions topic. Okay, so we are going to learn about this functions topic. Then as I told you, there is something called arrays. So in this arrays we have the topic called one dimensional arrays, two dimensional array. So as I told you, I want to store similar characters like numbers or names or letters or paragraphs or objects, images, audio, video, whichever it is. That means if something which is having similar things where I can store. So the array, I can store something called multi-dimensional and two-dimensional arrays where I can do the mathematical operations of matrix additions. I can go for matrix multiplication. So with the help of that particular using loops and all the things, the same other two topics. So if we are perfect with our two topics, we can able to know about the dimensional, single dimensional and the multi-dimensional arrays. Now this is about the two-dimensional, multi-dimensional arrays. Then coming to the string, we will be going to declare the string, we are going to initialize the string, then we are going to read the file. Like we have already created the word document. We have in the first semester we learn about PowerPoint, we have seen about the MS Excel. So I want to read the data from that particular Excel file, I want to read the data from that particular document file. So like that, I want to retrieve the data, read the data, I will add some information into that. I want to know what are the data that are there in that particular file. So I'll be using this particular string concept to read and write the things. And also we have ready-made functions also in this string. So we are going to learn the ready-made built-in functions about the string. So these are the things we are going to cover in our functions. Any doubt regarding this till now? The introduction of our functions and arrays and string. Any doubt, ma'am? Are you listening?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, so you are ready with your software that is available on your mobile. So we'll see how we are going to write the functions and declaration and all the things. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll going to share the screen. So, what is our topic? Function. So, default one function is there for every program, which you have already seen, that is int main function. So, if you remember our main functions, now this is what our C program we have been writing. So, this is the default function that is available in all the C language. Now, as I told you that this is the main functions which is going to execute our program. Now, like that, I want to create my own. So, this is our default function called main. So, we are going to create this particular main function. So, like this, we want to create our own function. So, what is the prototype? So, first of all, we should know the importance of the functions. So, as I told you, the function which is going to execute block of statements. And what is the use of this? In order to write lengthy program, we are making that into parts. So, for our convenient purpose, we are going to create this block of parts of program, and we are putting into some block, and we are giving some name. And whenever I am going to call that, that function will be executed. And if I want to do any modification, I'll go to that particular part, and I'll try to modify it, and I'll going to execute the program without any disturbing the other lines of program. So we have seen the problem in previous program that writing thousands and hundreds of lines, where we have been finding very difficult to modify any line also. If any error is there, it is we have to go to each and every line. I have to cross verify, and we have to modify that one. So it is a very tedious job for us. So in order to avoid such kind of circumstances, we are writing the functions. So we are splitting that function parts of the program. We are making into the block. So the name itself saying split that, make the block, give the name, and call the name. So these are the steps are involved in that. So what are the things? The steps we have to giving. We have to give the name for the function. So naming the function. So before that, I have to declare the prototype. So declaration should be there. Define define the things. So in the define itself, we write the logic and we are going to call it. So these are the three steps that are involved in the function. So when I go for the declaration, we call that as a prototype. So we have to declare the create the prototype. So what is this prototype? It's nothing but skeleton or the structure of the function. So how I'll be writing? Simply I'll be saying something called say void followed by the name of the function. So here I'll be saying void and name of the function, or I'll say function name. Just I'll put it in this Angular basis. Though this is a syntax function name followed by brackets, and this is also an optional. So that's why I'm putting this in an, this one in a square bracket. That means functional. Okay, optional it is. So here I'll be saying parameter. So parameter 1 and so on. I can have single parameters or I can have the n number of parameters. So parameter n. And this can be also have the parameter list also. Now this is the syntax, and open the braces, close the braces, and here we are going to write the statements. So we are going to write the statements in this fashion. So this is the prototype. Okay. So prototype will be, this will be the prototype. So simply write the void, or I'll be writing the data type, or I can have the something called data type also. And closing this. Now this is the declaration. Then we are going to define it by writing the syntax. So here we are giving the structure. So simply we are giving the structure like this. We are not writing the logic. So that is what we call as a prototype. So we are not writing any logic, just we are defining that one. Okay, we are just declaring that one. Then we are telling that I am previously have been giving this one. Now I am writing the logic. Now here I will be writing the our logic. So logic, when I'm writing, I should use the same whatever I declare on the top. It's like simply we have done in our previous program. Like has been saying that if you remember our previous program, I have said something called int I told. Now this is the declaration. Then I have been giving the assigning the value. So I'm defining the value like this. Then I'm using the logic. So I'll be writing the logic, say I plus plus or something like that. I'm using this value to print, printing the I value, something like that. So I'm doing writing the logic. So the logic has been your definition. So this is your prototype declaration. So similar fashion, here we are saying declaring the structure, then define the structure. That means write the logic. Once you write the logic, it should be called. Where you want to call, how you want to call, it's left to you. So calling, how I'll be going to call? Simply I'll write the function and the function name. I'll write function and the function name. Function and the function name. With parameter, if it is parameter, if you are given parameter will pass in. Parameter is nothing but values now. So don't get confused. Parameter, what is this parameter and parameterless? That means I am passing the values in this braces. So if you pass the values, depending upon the structure. If the structure is accepting the values, you give the values. If the structure is not accepting the values, don't give the values. So this is how you are going to do this. Okay. So this is about the structure of your function. So we are been writing our default functions anyhow. We know that it's a main function. I want to create the main like this, our own function. We call it the custom function. So for that, we need a declaration. We need a declaration. Then we have to define that. Then we have to call that. So we'll see one sample example on this. Sample syntax I'll be telling you. So here I'll want something called function add. Now, if you see here, I have something called void and data type. Now here I'll say function, say void function. So function void, name of the function is this one. So here I'll be saying add. So as I said, function and the function name, or void or data type followed by the function name. So here I'm using void and the function. So as I told prototype, I can write like this. So this is parameterless. That means it is not accepting anything. Now I'll be saying something called void add int of x That means it is going to take one parameter. See, I can write as many of samples. So just I'm showing the samples to you. So I'll be saying int of y. Now these are all our prototypes. These are all our prototypes. Then I can write, so this is about the y, which doesn't return any type. I have seen something called data type. So what are the data types we already learned? We learn about the integer. So I'm integer with parameters less. Okay, with parameter. So I'll be saying with parameter. So here I'll be saying int with parameter. Okay, so one parameter, two parameters, three parameters, or I can say something called char. So any data type you want, you can take it. So I'll be saying this one. So character of x comma character of y comma character of z. So like this, I can give n number of parameters. So these are the different types of we are going to try. Now, what is the difference between void add and int add? See, this you understand. Parameterless, that means it will not going to take any values. Okay. Now here it is taking parameter, single value. Here it is taking two values. Now this also taking single value, no values, and taking three values. Now this is parameter and parameterless. Now can you tell me what is the difference between void add and integer add or character add? That means the function will going to execute the things, but it will not going to carry forward the values. Now that means it will not going to return anything to you. So the calculation or the logic will be work there only, and once it comes from out of that particular block, nothing will be carried forward. Something like I can give one example, like I've taken something, or my boss has been, or I have been assigned my one work to my attender saying that please post this letter in the post box. So simply I'm assigning the value. So he has been going to the post office and he's posting the letter in the post box. Then he's going to home. Okay. So how I can ensure that he has posted or he has been posted that into the post office. So he'll be naturally he'll get the receipt of posting my letter. Then the receipt, if he giving back, that means he's going to the post office again. He's coming back and he's returning the receipt to me. That means he's returning some value to me. Or the amount whichever I have been given to him, he has been given back to the balance amount. So with that balance amount, I'm doing some other work, or I'm being assigned the same amount, whichever that has been got from that person, I'm giving to some other. That means I'm taking the amount from him and I'm giving to some other. So that is what the return type. So here you can see integer character. That means the value which you are giving should be carried forward for some other operations. That is return type. When I say void, then and there is the work will be completed and the values will not be carried forward for some other operations because there is no use of that. That is finished. The job has been got finished. With that, if you want some other work to be done, then it should be given carry forward. So if you want to carry forward the result, then I have to change the data type to something like this. If you don't want to carry forward the value, then I'll be using the void. Okay, like our commerce student will be every month or everything will be the previous balance will be carried forward to the next month. Like that, if you want, then I'll be using this down functions. If you don't want to carry forward any value to the next month, then we'll be using the while. So like this is the prototype. Now this is the prototype we are going to declare on the top of the program. So this is how you are writing the prototype. So declaration. Then as I told you, define. That means how to write the logic. So how I'll be going to write the logic for this. So already I declared this, I have to write the logic. So I'll be saying something called void. Then I'll remove this semicolon from here and I'll be writing like this. Opening braces, down braces, and here I'll be writing int of x is equal to 10, int of y is equal to 20, Then I'll be saying int of z is equal to x plus y. Then I'll be saying print f your percentile d, then comma z. Just I'm giving the framework. We are not writing the exact program. Just in order to understand how we are going to declare, define, call. The three terms I'm explaining. So previously I have been declared there. So here you have seen the prototype. I have given the prototype on the top. Now this is the prototype. Then using the same prototype, I'm writing the logic saying that do this one. Now these are the statements I am writing in the code. Now previously what we have written, simply we have written like this. Simply we are writing like this in the main method. If you remember our previous program, simply we are writing the program in this fashion. Now what we are doing, no, we are getting, because these programs are been openly, and if you want, I have to check each and every line. It is very tedious job for me. So I'll make this into a block so that it is very convenient. Whenever I want, I can change the things for it. So I'll be saying I'll make this into a function by saying like this. Now this is how I'll going to split my program into parts. Now, whenever I want to do anything, I'll simply go to this particular function and I'll be try to modify the values, or I'll change the things, I'll change the logic, whatever you want, you can do it. That means you are upgrading the function. So this is how you are going to define your function. Are you able to understand? So this is how you are going to define the function. This is how you're going to declare the function. Then the necessity is to call the function, because if you do this, it will not going to call because it's user defined function. So because this is a custom functions, we have to call the function. Okay. So this will be called by us, because as I told you, no, brake should be connected to the tire. Okay. Then the clutches should be connected to the gear, and all the things should be interconnected. No, so whenever I press that particular button, then it will be called. So like that, we have to call our functions whatever we have created, because this is the custom functions. It will be, we have making, what we are doing, we are just whatever the lines we are writing, we are making into parts. That's it. It will not go into execute, because previously what happens, we are writing in the main functions, we are writing in the main function all the lines. So what is the main will do, one by one the lines will be executed, because it has been followed by the sequence. So, okay, first line you execute, second line you go execute, third line, because the main function knows that it will go into execute. But what is happening, because we are removing that parts, that we are been separating that lines from that particular main and writing somewhere, and we are making that this is one part, this is second part, third part. But how this part should be executed, it should be called, then only our function will going to work. Okay, like we have to, if I want to have the switch on the fan or off the, at least I have to go to the particular button I have to press, or I have to use the remote to on that. That means I have to do something, I have to call that by using the button, pressing the button. Then only that function hidden on that but critical thing will be called, and the fan will be running. Similar fashion, whatever the program we are writing in a part. That means we are making into parts, and we are separately we are putting somewhere. Now it has to be called one by one. So when we want to call one by one, so whatever you have been defining, that function has to be called. So I'll be simply calling that function by saying add. By saying add. Why I'm giving simply add like this? Because I have been defining this one parameterless. So it is parameterless. Now, this one should be called in our main functions. So in our main function, what is our main function? Our main function is like this. And in this, I'll be writing this one. Now you can see how small my main function has been completed. Previously, this one, this main function, what happened? This main function was carried like this. So previously, if you see your previous program, it was like this. It was like this. That means main is the function. Total burden on the main was there. So it is the person who is going to take all the lines, hundreds and thousands lines we are writing. It has been taken burden. So total burden has been given on the main. Okay. So it has been got more tired and tired because one person has to do handle all these things. So what he has done, we are making this into parts and we are making into parts and we are calling that as a function. Now, what the main function is to do, just sitting on that, it has to operate. So simply it will say, I have to call. So we are writing one line. So here, the line has been got decreased. So previously we are writing hundreds and lines. That 100 lines has been called to somewhere. Now what the main function will do, it will come here. It will see, okay, there is something called add button. Then it will see whether you have a prototype. Yes, we have a prototype on the top, we have declared, and it will see the logic. From here, it will jump here. It will jump here, and it will going to execute all this line. Again, if you want to come after this, if you have any other function, like suppose again I will say I will call add because as I told you, I can write the function and I can call many times. I can call second time also. I can call third time also. I can call 100 times also. Or I can put this in a loop. Then what happens? I can get this function. See, previously. Now suppose if it is like this, if I don't have this function concept, the same thing I have to write only one time. And every time I have to change the value. But what is happening here? Simply I have written the functions. Only one time I have written the function. See the advantage of the function. I have written only one time. But how many times I'm calling here? I'm calling twice. No need to write the same program again and again. See, if it is a twice means how many times? 4 lines and 4 lines. Total 8 lines I have to write. If you think it in the same fashion of your main, 8 lines I have to write. So what I'm doing, I'm avoiding that one. I splitted that one into a part and I'm calling that part in the main function in this fashion. And how many times you want? As many of times you can execute that one. Now this is how we are going to use our main function. Okay, so we are going to call all the functions whatever you created. So user, now this is add is a user defined function. So we are been creating our own logic and we are been creating a prototype. We are creating we are defining the prototype, then we are calling that one. Now suppose if I want to modify it, simply I'll go to this function and I'll try to modify it. Or if I want to change the logic, I'll change the logic. Simply, no need to do any other changes. If any problem is there, I'll go and connect this particular function. I'll modify it. I'll try to rectify it. So no need to check other lines. If you have thousands of lines also, we are not going to check because there is a problem only in this function. So I'll go to that. So as I told you, the example of mechanic, if it any problem is there, mechanic person will going to touch that particular problem. If the problem is connected to interlink to some other thing, then only open the other parts and all things. So one by one, he'll be trying to see the problem and he'll open. So if you give the mechanic, he'll not open everything and he'll say that this is the problem, that is the problem. If you say that, sir, there is a problem in the brake, then he'll touch the brake and he'll try to do that particular part. So like that, our function, a custom function has to be created, it has to be defined, it has to be just declared, then it has to be defined, then it has to be called. Now these are three steps that have been involved in creating the function. Up to this, any doubt, ma? Do you have any doubt regarding this? Any doubt, ma? Please tell me yes or no. If you have a doubt, you can raise it. Otherwise, you can leave it. No doubts? Okay. So thank you one and all. We'll see you in the tomorrow's class, the next class. So I stop here only. Please kindly post your attendance in the chat box, all of you. Those who post, they can leave the session. Okay. Mishra, can you send me the attendance no to my WhatsApp? Anwar, మరి ఎవరు ఇస్తారంట మీ కొత్తమ్మ? కొత్త వాళ్ళని ఎవరిని ఇస్తారంట? ఏమన్నా ఇవాళ నుంచి వస్తామన్నారు.